up, guys? In today's webinar, we're going to talk about the role of a striker. We're going to go a bit more into the qualities a great striker needs to have, what exercises there are, and maybe some good examples of complete strikers today, professional strikers. Next to me, I have John Moses, who's if you didn't know, a UEFA licensed coach, licensed scout, and obviously he played himself professionally as a striker, so he'll be able to tell you what you need to do. And he played in countries like Germany, Hungary, China, Dubai, just to name a few. He also was an international player for Liberia. So just to get into this, could you just tell us a bit about maybe your playing career as a striker? So for example, I remember you told me once about the time when you went to Germany, like when you got to Germany and you played for Hansa Rostock, I believe. And I think you told me that you scored quite a few goals for them.
Yeah, thank you so much. Not particularly Germany, but in my playing career as a striker, first I came as a striker to Hungary, and that was many years ago. I needed to do something different than the local players who were there or any other foreign player who was there. That required a lot of hard work, so I needed to do my homework in order to stay on the top. In order to do so, you're going to have to go through extra training beside what you do with the team. Stay focused, eat the right food, sleep in time. I had one quality which made me to be, part of that team, and it was very interesting, and people, even defenders, caught it very difficult, even when I moved over to Germany as well. Playing as a striker, regardless of all the skills you have and your techniques, and so, when you have pace, it gives you, the power to do whatever you want to do. And so that was one of my main weapons I had. Whenever defenders were slow in judging what to do or how to tackle me, I used that my weapon, in order to, capitalize on them. Playing as a striker, I try to do many tricks. I planned it in my mind. I never disclosed whatsoever I needed to do, to anybody against a defender. So I planned it in my mind what I needed to do. I was always focused, as I said, and then I needed to be very strong. I was very strong, and I did everything I could in the air, on the ground, and when it came on the line of shooting, speed, and communication. So everything that required of a striker, I tried to practice it on my own. And even if I did not have the quality that a striker needed, I was good at it, but I needed to do more. So I went home on my own in a secret location, and I did extra work on my own. I played alongside with people who were there to also understand my game. They were there feeding me with the right passes, and so I didn't do everything on my own, but with the collaboration of the teammates, that also can make the striker to be a great striker. I was lucky to have good players like feeding me with passes that I needed to, in order to do the good job. Yeah. So to start with, that was. That was part of me. That was what
So you mentioned already, speed was what was your main quality there, as well as obviously you said tricks.
Yes.
Like being a skillful player.
Yeah.
Let's say you'd have to name like the 5 most important qualities for a great striker.
I just mentioned 2 right now. So, but you're gonna have to be very skillful, and that's one of the main points. And you have to be also a good finisher.
Yeah.
There are strikers who you think they are a good striker, but they do not know how to finish. But to be a good, finisher is one of the most important things in that role, playing up front there, because you're playing, less defensively, and you're always there in the goal area. So you have to be, skillful and also challenging. You have to be very, very, like a fighting warrior. If you are not, a fighting type of striker, the defender is going to have it easy on you. Yeah. So you're going to have to be at your top, form, be strong.
If you would have to pick players that are professional now, that you would say that's like a complete striker, he has everything.
We got many of those players that have those qualities. Everybody would think of Ronaldo and Messi. They got everything. The two guys there. But if you look at other clubs too, there are players there too, like in Paris Saint-Germain, Bayern Munich, or like in Chelsea. There are also players there who have got those qualities. But everybody is talking about Messi and Ronaldo. But
I think especially what you were saying about the fighting spirit.
Yes.
I think one who definitely has it is Suarez.
Oh, yeah.
He's very uncomfortable to like. It's very hard to play against him. I think, and I think you don't like him if you play against him, right?
No. That's the kind of striker too. You have to be fighting. You remember when he was playing in England, man?
Yeah.
When he used to bite people, yeah, he used to bite, and also, even though right now he has stopped that attitude, but that's the kind of player that I would actually like to have on my team, because he's always pushing, like Cavani, Yeah. He's always there at the right time. When the player is not expecting him, he's just coming like a cobra, he wants to strike. So he strikes you immediately before you make up your mind, there's a goal. So yeah. You need to have a fighting spirit. Yeah.
You look at Messi. What would you say his main quality is that makes him such a great striker?
You won't understand a player like Messi, because when you are not expecting him to do the magical thing, he does it. I would term him to be like very, very sneaky. He hasn't got that kind of a fighting spirit that Suarez has, or maybe Cavani or Ronaldo. Yeah. But I'm telling you, he sees the danger. He sees 2 or 3 players, and he makes up his mind to enter there, to go within and between those players, in order to score the goal. Yeah. And he does that because he has a skill. He keeps focus on the ball, and he keeps the ball to himself. He does it in a way that whenever he's tackled or whatsoever, the ball is stay with him. He dribbles very well. He's the kind of player that dribbles very short. He doesn't dribble, like Ronaldo does his dribbling from distance, from the defender or from the player. But Messi comes to you, he approaches you with the ball, right up to you, and then he got this sharp, like turning in the swap and this and that, left and right. So Messi, he's a different kind of player from Ronaldo, Hazard, from Cavani, from Suarez, but he got all the quality that you think a player needs.
You've kind of said it earlier that the main thing a striker needs to do is to score, obviously.
Yes.
But besides that, what do you think a striker needs to do, like on the field, besides scoring?
He has to play collectively, and you're going to have to be a team player. If you are not in the right position to score, if it is not your day to score, then why don't you give an assist to someone else? A striker is also like that too. He's a kind of a player that is also motivated. He encourages his player to do the best they can. He's there always to push them, even though sometimes he finds it difficult when 2, 3 players are marking him as a striker. So it's difficult for him to score the goal. Yeah. So what he does, he attracts the attention of the defenders to take them away, and then give a chance to give the room to the other players to score. So he contributes also to his teammates to score. Yeah. So those are things that he requires of a striker, even if he doesn't score the goal.
Yeah, I think it's nowadays, especially, strikers are expected to be defending as well, like not just standing in front of the other goal, but just they have to work a lot. Well.
When a striker loses the ball, you're going to have to fight to win it back. Yeah. Sometimes once or twice in the game, or maybe you're going to have to go back to the defense. More especially when you play in a tough game where you already up 1 goal or 2 goals. There's a corner kick against you. Like Ronaldo does that a lot. He goes back down to the defense. He takes a corner kick. The corner kick is taking one of the goals in the air, and he heads it out, and then he follows up. So. Yeah, you're going to have to help too. You are not just up there like a striker, playing the role there, but defensively, even though you are less defensive playing, but you're going to have to help also in the defense. Yeah. Like come, ask for the ball, or tackle. You're going to have to try to do something. Disturb the player, distract the player from, attacking your defense. Come out and do something in order to to make it to lose, control. Strikers also help in the defense, Not always in attack there to score the goal. So
yeah. If we kind of take it back again to your playing career, if you could give the people listening or watching this some exercises, let's say, that they could do as a striker that really helped yourself become a better striker and a better player.
What I did and what I will also, suggest for other players to do, you're gonna have to work on your endurance, because playing up there in the front, you need a lot of work to do. Every time you're gonna be running. Do long distance, jogging in order to keep your heartbeat, because once your heartbeat is functioning very well, and do this abdominal sit-up, because once your stomach, when you are fit here, this is where you breathe normally. You're gonna have explosive energy to. Sometimes you play 90 minutes without getting tired. So those are things you're going to have to do. It's not necessarily that you go in the gym. I used to do this up and jumping, in order to build my shoulder. I didn't used to have to go in the gym. Sometimes I did that when we were doing preparation. In the preparatory time, this is what you do. But when you get into playing time, you don't have time to go to do gym or so. All you need to do it with your team, sometime by yourself. Put some cones down, do some shorter runs, do some shorter sprints. Those are things that really, really, really help me, and I already recommend it to you. As a striker, you're going to always have to be on your feet. You're going to have to always be on your feet. Build all your calf muscles. How do you do that? Do a lot of jumping on your toes. Put some cones down, or put some cones in line and try to hop over them, but do it on your toes. And then when your calf muscle is built up, I'm telling you, it's going to actually help you to push you. Your speed level is going to improve a lot. Don't be so disappointed. Maybe sometime you try it, it's not working, but you're going to have to keep trying. And I did it over and over and over.
In terms of finishing or scoring goals, what did you do to train that?
You're going to be very smart. Before the ball gets to you, you're going to have to know. The striker needs to be a finisher. You're going to have to be there to finish. This is something you're going to have to work on very, very well, because sometimes some goalkeepers are very, very good. So what do? In order to finish, make sure you make up your mind. You're going to have to make up your mind where you want to kick the ball. And how do you kick it? You're not going to just pass it to the goalkeeper or whatsoever, or maybe roll it into the goal. So if you make up your mind to put the ball in the top corner, hit it with force, with the inside of your foot or with your laces, but very strong. When I shot on goal, I made a follow-up, because you never know. You took a shot and the goalkeeper is always anticipating too. Sometimes he's on the right position where the ball is going. Maybe he dives for the ball and he hits the ball, and the ball is always rolling back. So always be ready. Don't give up. Don't think maybe the goalkeeper is saving it or maybe it's a goal. When you shoot your ball, always follow your shot. Always relax and focus, and make sure your shot is well taken. Do it with power. A striker that I knew, my own countryman George Weah, whenever the goalkeeper was making a step out of the goal, that's the time he shot the goal. So this time it's very difficult for him to take another step in order to catch a ball. So always take the goalkeeper unaware when he's not ready.
Very good tips. I think nowadays it's, especially for players like Griezmann or Messi, they're more attacking midfielders, in the sense that they'll help the other midfielders or even defenders. They give them options to play to, because they're technically really good. They have to then play the balls to the other strikers. As I said, they're more like attacking midfielders, creating chances, and not just about scoring goals. So I think that's really good. Maybe to finish, maybe some tips that you've learned over your career, maybe more in the sense of mentality, the kind of mentality that you need to bring as a striker. One
thing you would have to know from my experience, I respect everyone. To be in the same position like me, I wasn't just the only striker playing on my team, so anybody else could have taken my place as well, provided if they did better than I did. You need to be humble. no matter whether there's a player younger than you or older than you, or maybe not skillful like you, you're gonna have to be very careful how to, to encourage them. Never tease a player that, oh, you are not good at this or you're not good at that. Always encourage. You should also be a player who is always focused and disciplined. I always stress on discipline because it's in everything that you do. Always be there to take instruction, because if you take instruction, your game is going to be okay. So all you need to do, be focused, listen to instruction, and be cooperative with your teammate and respect one another.
We all learned a lot from Mo today. Me as well. Yeah. So thank you, Mo.
Yeah, until then, stay effective.
Stay effective.
Hey guys, thanks for watching the video. Make sure you subscribe and check out our last video. Stay effective.